is up, everybody? Happy Monday. It's July 11th, and I've got my voice back. The fucking genie's out of the bottle. Welcome to Ask the Dads. And I used the F word in the first 2 minutes. We are screwed money-wise, but that's all right. I'm happy to be out of the damn quarantine, so I don't give a shit what I say today. JJ, how the hell are you, brother?
I am tired. I am hungry. I apologize to y'all if I come off a little bit more mush mouth than normal today. I have literally been in the room that I am in since about
Yes.
11:30 this morning West Coast time. So we're
Yes.
going on 4.5 hours.
Yes.
I have been in here canning material to have for the rest of my month here as I do Disney movies, new release Saturday and everything. I have everything canned except for the new release Saturday of The Gray Man, which has a limited engagement starting the 15th, so it hasn't even hit theaters yet.
Kind of hard
And
to
then
can
will
that shit.
drop on and then it'll drop on Netflix the following week, the 22nd.
Oh, jeez.
So can't do that yet. And I have one episode of The War Zone yet to do. Everything else for the rest of this month on my end is canned.
I dig it, brother. I'm happy for you, man. I know you've been pushing to get to Brian Cage this month and get your shit in so you can move forward with what you got to do outside of the house. So good on you,
Yeah.
brother. Good to see Scott in the room, bright and bright. Well, not bright and early. It's 4 o'clock in the goddamn afternoon. If you ain't awake by now, fuck. But
Well, yeah, and
it's good to
if
see
he's
Scott, regardless of what
and I
time of
don't
day it is.
remember if he's in East Coast or not, so it may be 7 o'clock for him.
Either way, but not only is everything canned, including what is canned, is if you missed it at the top of the previous hour, shame on you. Go check it out right now over the Casa D-18 Studios, which you're watching us on, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network right now. Your review of Pocahontas, I got to watch that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the recognition that everybody seems to want to dance around. The fact that it's historically inaccurate as a muckerfucker, but it's got great animation. The songs are amazing, and the story itself, illegitimate though it is still very well told by the Disney folks. So gotta
The
love it.
story they chose to tell
Yes,
was well told.
right, right, right. So if you go and do a fresh watch for the first time, saying this is the Disney movie about the Indian princess, name redacted, then you're good. Pull a Noah Foster on this shit, y'all, for real, and then you're
There
good
you
to
go.
go. Because it is a
Pretty much.
beautiful movie. It really is. I enjoy it. I always
Yeah.
have. But as you mentioned, it is sort of the signal of the downward trend of what was the Renaissance, which had kicked all the ass. And like you pointed out to me many times over the years, The Lion King is what it is. It's one of the greatest things ever, and then it wasn't for everybody else. So
Yeah, it's one of those movies that just set the bar so high that coming after it, it's like, how do you top that?
yeah, when
That's
you
why
have
I've started
certain
trying to take to, when I talk about, what movies are the greatest, you've got to go by eras when it comes to Disney. You've really
yeah,
got to look at each era and what was the defining moment. Because if you try to compare Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to The Lion King, there's no comparison. If you
can't.
try to compare Treasure Planet to The Lion King, there's no comparison.
Yeah,
Even today, as loved and hated as it is, you can't compare Frozen to The Lion King.
no, you can't. And and for those of us that are ignorant out there in the audience, he's not saying that Frozen didn't hit every single mark it needed to hit. It's just the thing we've always been taught in wrestling. A lot of the folks that have done creative and booking on wrestling take Eric Bischoff's book and treat it as the Bible. You can't be greater than the Lion King. You just can't do it. So you have to be different than in order to stand out. And there are many, every single one of them is different from the Lion King, but you have to be different than while at the same time maintaining your own level of excellence. Otherwise, you're going to be a Treasure Planet, an Atlantis, a forgotten, in my opinion, classic stuff like that. Or you're going to be Frozen, which is going to take over the friggin' world, but it's still not Sir Elton John writing your shit. I mean, it's, there's a lot to hit there. And as you said, as you and I have discussed so many times, everything after Mouse Detective just kept getting better and better. And then Lion King hit, and it was like, man, let me just have a moment here to process how awesome this is. And then right up until, I want to say right up until, see, you're doing the whole Renaissance the rest of the month. So I don't want to totally, blow your entire wad of content, but I would say everything up until, after your month you're doing here is kind of like, thank God for Pixar. I really,
There's a few movies in this month that you can kind of say thank God for Pixar as well.
Right.
We're not gonna. I'm not gonna crap on them here.
No.
At the end of the day, I want people to tune into my show to see if I crap on them or not. Don't want to give it all away free.
Exactly.
Don't want to be Tony Khan giving away the blood and guts on free television. God damn it! Come and pay for the pay-per-view.
We're going to talk about that. Go ahead and finish your point about Disney, though.
Go pay for the pay-per-view. God damn it! Come see it on my show.
That's right.
There's, like I said on The Lion King, though, which is already aired.
Right.
Once you hit that mark, it's just a steady down climb. Yeah. And you look at it like a stock market, zigzag up and down. You
Definitely.
We're coming off of Oliver and Company, and you go Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. Then, as much as I love it, Aladdin was a little bit of a step down from Beauty and the Beast.
Definitely a little bit.
Then
yes,
you
I
jump
agree.
up to a peak here with The Lion King. And then you got to come off The Lion King. And it's like coming off The Lion King, you've got Pocahontas. You've got Mulan. Or after Pocahontas, you had Hunchback. You had Hercules. Then you had Mulan, which came back up a little bit.
Yeah.
You had Tarzan, which was okay, and Phil Collins doing your soundtrack. Granted, it's no Elton John, but damn if that wasn't a banner of a soundtrack.
Right. Oh, God. You're going to do that now? All of a sudden, everybody's saying banger after James just freaking drill it down our throats the other night on the review. Everybody's saying bangers. Matter of fact, in the comment room, I was like, let her grade down for use of banger. It's like, you know what? Sometimes a word just sticks in your head, kids. Get over it. It's funnier than hell.
But, it's like there's very much that fluctuation. And
we've all had that with our significant other at some point or another, G. No doubt about it.
And I agree with him. I know you threw it up a minute ago while I was talking, but Oliver and Company is very underrated.
Very.
I talked about this last year. In my personal opinion, that was the beginning of the Renaissance.
Yes. And if you
think about you think about the all-star cast, you think about the music, you think about the story that they told, Oliver Twist. Everything was very Renaissance-esque in its storytelling.
Yep.
They just defined the Renaissance era as that 10 years between 89, The Little Mermaid, and 99, Tarzan.
Yep. When you think about the way, and as far as a live-action Hercules, I did hear rumblings of that. You probably know more than I do, Disney movie man.
I believe they are. They're doing pretty much live-action movies of all of them.
Right. Which,
I'm waiting to see the live-action version of Fantasia. I want to know who's going to play Chernabog.
That's right. John Laurinaitis.
Damn.
That's right. That's right. Come at me, Connecticut, you dicks. Anyway, thank you, Scott, for the super sticker and the $5 chat. We appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Yes. Every little bit helps. What I was going to say about the grouping, when you factor on Disney Plus, they do the shorts, Steamboat Willie in that era, prior to Snow White, and then 30s and 40s, which Snow White's 37, so you gotta put those last three in with the other ones. Oh, and then another $2 super sticker on the side. Well, thank you again, Scott. We appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Scott with the generosity. I appreciate that. You figure if Snow White's 37, you got to kind of lump it in there with the 40s, right? But then the next group's the 50s through the 70s. So they got a good freaking 30 years of stuff in there because there was so much made in that time period, or released in that time period, that and you gotta remember, a lot of stuff they did prior to that. The reason the 30s and the 40s section is so small is because the 40s was the war, and they were making the non-traditional animated movies that were animated.
Films.
They were sending out the package
the
pieces.
package films.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Cinderella's good, Alice is good, Peter's good, Lady's good, Sleeping Beauty's good, Dalmatians is good. People go back and forth with me on Sword in the Stone. I happen to like it. So, Jungle Book, I know you have no unbiased whatsoever. You are 100% biased, and I can't even try to front on that one. Aristocats, your daughter's going to hate me, or at least I don't remember if Natalie did or not. I know Alana does. I just remember if Natalie liked Marie or not. I have never been the biggest fan of Aristocats myself. So, but I know
Aristocats was always a popular one in the house. Yeah, Aristocats was always a house favorite. Yeah. Going all the way back to the one who wears the pants in the house here, when she was a youngster, talking about how Kitty ate Baloo.
Oh, that's true. That's true. By the way, I have to thank Ray. He actually DM'd me on Twitter early as hell this morning by my standards. I'm talking like in the wee hours. And he let me know that CDC has reduced the actual quarantine retesting limit to 5 days instead of 10. I was like, fuck, I'm going to test in the morning. And I did. So now it's all about just Lysoling and sanitizing the hell out of this place by Friday when the boy comes home. Finally. Robin Hood's great. I always love Robin Hood. I know people go back and forth on that. You and I both love Robin Hood. Winnie the Pooh's good, and Rescuers is good. So yeah, there's not a whole lot, even during the era that people started to not exactly automatically agree with all of them, that were still great. It's only in the Renaissance era that after today's movie you did, it's kind of like, okay.
Well, what you have to keep in mind, and yes, folks, we will eventually get onto wrestling topics, but you guys have to ask the dads what you want us to talk about.
You also say in the opening and in the introduction, both. You even close it out today on the show. You can ask us wrestling and non-wrestling. So we are.
That's right.
I'm going on Sunday, damn it! I got to get myself in the right space ahead here.
There you go. But the thing you have to factor in is that The Jungle Book was the last film Walt had his hands in.
Very good
which
point.
Is why everything after that kind of was really hit or miss because Walt didn't have his hands in it.
Yep. Very
and
true.
Walt is held in such an esteem by most people, whether it's glorification or not of the actual man that he was.
Right.
He's held in such a high esteem that when he stopped having his hands in the movies, you could kind of see that sometimes the focus and some of the movies and the storytelling wasn't on par.
Very true.
With the stuff that he helped guide.
Very much a reflection
with the Jungle Book. With the Jungle Book, he had asked everybody, have you read this book? Yeah. Okay, we're going to throw it out. We're going to take these characters, but we're going to tell our own story. It was very Pocahontas in that aspect that it strayed so much from the source material, it was not funny.
No.
But the story they chose to tell became so iconic.
Yep. I remember as a kid when the the other version of Jungle Book, as far as the non-Disney one came out, it was so serious and so a lot of it was dark. People were like, "This isn't the Jungle Book," and they're like, "It is." It's just not
Big
Disney's.
G, Big G, you need to get on that, especially if you have Disney Plus. Now, Coco is Pixar also, but
Yes,
Encanto and Frozen are very, very good.
I'll tell you.
Encanto is a favorite of the pipsqueak around here. In fact, her with her lisp and everything, she says Encanto.
Yeah, they're
It's a
they're still
favorite
mad at
of
me
my
over having not said
nieces
that.
back in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yes,
So
yes,
Encanto is a very good story. It inspired one of the Renegade's rules, rule number 4, and it is something that we will be discussing, I am positive, when we
yes,
get to that era of the Disney songs at the end of the year.
yes. We are definitely going to be. I'm looking forward to that so much because just the music from Disney outside of the parks, which for me is a challenge because I haven't seen all of it, but it'll be fun. I've heard the music, but yeah, as far as I like that Big G brought this up because I'm looking through the collections here on Disney Plus. I just now signed for New Groove this year.
And
Um,
Cece is going to reach through the screen and slap you for that.
oh no. Her and I had that talk on one of our outings. So see, he's thinking of the originals. I have not seen. I'm trying to see. I still haven't seen either Brother Bear the whole way through. Well, you were in the house with it. No, I slept through them, Teresa. Especially the first one.
To be
I
fair, I think I've seen half of the first one and I've never seen the second one.
yeah, I mean, when you're babysitting the Wonder Twins and you have a moment and you lull, it is what it is. Exactly. If you have the
Emperor's
chance,
New
check it out.
Groove I have seen.
So Home on the Range, I've still yet to see any of it,
Same,
honestly.
same.
I'm just looking through the newer ones here. Still haven't seen Encanto. Please don't hate me, y'all. Raya the
You need
Last
to get
Dragon.
on
Haven't
that.
seen that.
I keep telling you that you're gonna need to see that for the Psalms.
Oh,
You
I
will
will
understand everything that this house speaks about with that music once you watch that movie.
definitely. I
But
haven't seen the most recent one that was just called Winnie the Pooh, like by itself.
I I think I watched that one. I'm not positive.
Still haven't seen Big Hero 6, which I don't know how at this point.
Dude, you need to get on that.
I don't know.
It is a Marvel
Zootopia.
property. It is a Marvel property that is iconic, and it even has the traditional Stan Lee cameo in animated form.
That's tremendous. Okay, Zootopia I've seen. The funny way I saw it was this is how messed up our medical system is in this state, in this county. I was in the waiting room to see to urgent care for I think it was one of my bouts of strep throat I've had in previous years. I watched the whole movie in the damn lobby. It wasn't like I was working at Walmart when you and I both were at Walmart and Elf's playing throughout the season and you catch it in different orders. I sat Muckerfuther from start to finish waiting to get seen by a doctor.
That is insane.
That's the damn. I think that's the damnedest thing I've ever had at a medical office. Besides, what do you call it? Like ERs,
Now,
whatever. But
now,
yeah,
did you have an appointment or were you there on standby?
I was there on standby, but I was the
That's why, because
only one in the.
they were trying to wait until an opening they could squeeze you in.
Well,
If you had an appointment, that would be absurd.
okay, hang on. There's two different. There's two different ways I can answer this. Number one, I wasn't at one of those walk-in clinics where where it's covered on our insurance, but you still have to wait, go through the damn hoops and, talk to the Pope and, the whole thing. I wasn't one of those. I was at an actual urgent care. The idea
Right,
of urgent care is to get care in an urgent manner. 2.5 hours is not urgent manner.
right. But when you're at an urgent care, essentially you're like in an emergency room. You're in
Fair enough.
essentially the same as an ER. What's more important? The guy that just got shuttled in an ambulance from a car crash, or what's wrong with you?
Well, If I was in an actual
they've
ER,
got
I
to.
would.
That's kind of the mentality you got to look at urgent care with, is like everybody's coming in, and what's more important, your ailment, whatever it is,
Right.
or the 5 people that are ahead of you.
I
You
think
would
I think
think
we're
in
discussing
some
different things, but
instances.
that's okay.
Okay. In any
Yeah.
event.
Anyway, but yeah, the point is, if you're not in an emergency setting, being in a lobby, be it an office, be it a doctor, whatever, for 2 hours plus is bullshit. And I saw this whole movie start to finish. And actually, that's the only one, besides the more recent ones, because I don't go to the movies during this pandemic to go. I don't go with my kids because the kids. I don't get the kids sick either. But yeah, Big Hero 6 is the only one of the ones released prior to pandemic that I've not seen all the way through of this new era, I guess. But yeah, that one and Home on the Range and The Two Brother Bears. Everything else I've finally seen. I even seen Song of the South, which y'all haven't seen that yet. Talk to this guy because it's actually very good, despite being what it is. The journal is working out great, G. I actually have been writing it a lot during this last week because of the situation. I didn't want to be touching, keyboards or whatever. I've been keeping to myself. But, yeah. It's pretty cool. They kind of expanded that library now. It's more than just Pinocchio and, like, the storybooks. They actually, after I got what I got for the ex-friend of ours, Jay, they released the freaking adventure book from Up in mass production now.
Of course
it's
they
like,
do.
you dicks, really? It's like, I could have saved a lot of searching on the internet and just ran my ass down to Anaheim and shit that shit up there. So, anyway. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up, I forgot what you brought up now because I was
Tony
so happy.
Khan giving stuff away on TV instead of saving it for
yes,
pay-per-view.
Okay, Blood and Guts. I don't understand a couple things. First of all, you're right. How in the hell do they try to say they're not going to end up like WCW? They're not going to, do the same thing and jump the same guns, and they're doing the exact same shit. How do you give away war games on free television? Because that's really what Blood and Guts is. Let's not put a front up or bullshit ourselves. Blood and Guts is war games. War Games is a pay-per-view feud-ending main event match. And it's on free TV. Just unbelievably derp of them. Can't believe that.
They've got another one this week too. I'm trying to find what it is. It's the Jericho match. Coming up this week. It's like that against Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I totally yeah, there you go. Barbed wire. Yeah, barbed wire. You're having barbed wire on live television.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, because that's not something we want to save.
I get they're only doing quarterly big pay-per-views, but damn, man, let the feuds build to that then. Quit thinking you have the need to shoot your wad off every 7 days.
Yeah.
Trust and believe. Okay. I get the analogy when I say that, but
I get the fact that you want to get a big rating.
Yeah.
But you need to get a rating based off of the storylines, the involvement. You don't want to pop your rating every week because of these crazy matches, because then people are going to expect that on a weekly basis.
And worse yet, they're not going to want to pay $50 for a pay-per-view if we're seeing pay-per-view on television for free.
Exactly. G's saying Fyter Fest is their TV PPV.
Okay.
So you're telling me it's like Clash of the Champions?
So what makes it different from Battle of the Belts, which is in a couple weeks? What makes it different from Winter is Coming, which is in every show can't be the greatest thing in the history of our great sport, Tony Khan.
And if every month there's going to be one of these special shows, then just make it a pay-per-view
and reduce the price.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
If you want to have your big 4, your big 5 be $50, then do these for $25.
Yeah, we're not trust and believe, as fans, I don't mind seeing it for free. I don't, because, always good to have stuff for free. But at the same time, as somebody who covers the business and wants the business to be successful across the board, it's one of the, I mean, do you want to have your business go under? Because this is how you have your business go under. Like that type of meme, mentality.
Yeah. Our colleague Noah Foster has already dubbed this the summer of injuries. Matches like this on free television is how you end up with more injuries.
Yeah. You got, 10 guys or whatever it was, 8 guys in there, and the winning team has to make a losing team submit or surrender, and you're already a bloodletting company as it is, you're asking for
And
trouble.
and what do they gain from this?
Yeah.
You know, at least like they did with Survivor Series back in, I want to say it was '04. Each person got to run Raw for a week.
Right.
What's the winning team get out of this? You got to
Seriously.
stand tall on free television,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
in
like
a
I said,
week you're having another blood or guts type of match.
yeah.
Barbed
War Games
wire
is
death
supposed to
match,
be end.
much like Hell in a Cell, much like the old school steel cage.
Yep. It's just like the moves, guys. It's just like anything in wrestling. If you do it too often, the finishers are no longer effective.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with match types, which is why these gimmick pay-per-views and gimmick, specials that are, dictated that they have to happen. It's like, no, build. Don't sit there and throw it out there just so you can have William Regal out there and go, blood and guts, and make everybody fucking pop your cherry because he said the thing. It's like, okay. Calm down. God damn, folks. And
Matt,
I
I
know
am
Big G wants
doing.
to ask. I know Jay wants to answer. So
I just wanted to say hello to Matt. I've seen that he posted that twice now.
oh, I saw it once, but okay.
Yeah, he posted it up a little higher, I think, and then he posted it again. So I just wanted
Oh,
to
I didn't see it more
make
than
sure
once, but okay.
we verbally addressed Matt. Hello, doing well today.
Everybody hit that like button, subscribe, all the things, please, please.
I am stoked for Clerks 3, though.
Yes.
After seeing the trailer, it it very much shows itself as being Kevin Smith's autobiography film.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, Jeff, but basically Randall has a heart attack, which is something that Kevin Smith suffered a few years back.
Yep.
And it's as a result, Randall decides to do something he's never done before and basically make his own movie. He's always worked at the video store. Now he's going to make his own movie and basically making a film about working at the video store and the quick stop, which is what Clerks was in the first place because Kevin worked at the quick stop and it was his movie about the people that was in his life with those two stores.
Kevin Smith is
So,
making a meta movie about a meta movie that was about a movie.
right? Like, it's so good. And then it looks like you've got everybody back. You've got Dante, you've got Randall, you've got Rosario Dawson back as Becky, you've got Trevor Furman back as Elias, the dorky kid from part 2. Like, you got Jay and Bob, of course, Ben Affleck with his gratuitous cameo. Like, what I'm really waiting to see though is if anybody from part 1 is going to pop up.
Right.
See if Veronica, his old girlfriend, pops up.
Having a heart attack, you would think so.
Well, that it was Randall's or Dante's girlfriend. Randall never really had any attachments other than Dante being his best
True.
friend.
Well, yeah,
That
that's
was
true.
one of the things that Randall made a comment about in part 2 is how Dante's always got two women vying for his affections, and he's such a hideous looking chud in comparison to Randall. But it would be interesting to see if some of these other people from the past, like I said, Veronica or God, I'm blanking on her name, but Jennifer Schwalbach's character,
Oh
Kevin's
yeah.
wife's character from part 2, the one he was supposed to marry before falling in love with Becky. You know, Rick Darris.
A
Be
lot of
curious
potential
to
here.
see how. Yeah, but the fact that Clerks 3 is basically Kevin making a movie about Kevin is, is just
Which was a
hilarious to
movie
me.
about in the first place. It's like, how meta can we get before our brains explode? which
And
is every Kevin Smith movie, right? So
and you
yeah,
know damn well if he was still alive, Stan would be involved in it somehow because they were
dude,
such good friends.
they're probably gonna find a way to freaking Grand Moff Tarkin his ass in there just to pay tribute to him. Like seriously,
Nah, they did that kind of with the reboot and doing the test footage for him coming back, like his reading the lines during the credits. It was
oh,
kind of like a just kind of left it there.
okay. Well then that makes sense. Just pull upon Pawn and Jaw. Wow, John and Paul let it be. What the fuck was that mess? Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know.
We're both tongue tied and brain fried today. Good
Give me
grief.
the book.
Still a little foggy. I'm working on it. Gotta get better. Gotta get better. Go Disneyland on Sunday. Gotta spend money, not drop money. Because goddamn
Right?
it, we're gonna spend money on something. I'm going to Disneyland. What else do you think I'm gonna do besides spend money? Oh man, I am just so glad that I kind of set myself up without even really trying to, because I put that plug out last week. Once I went down, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do full-time appearances if I can help it, because I didn't want to strain myself too much. I ended up doing Greg's show because I wanted to make sure we got the fundraiser for Jesse going. I really want to make it a point to be there for that. So I did that, and I didn't regret doing it. I regretted after I turned the camera off. I felt even worse because I just was talking for the full hour. But yeah, I set it up where I plugged everything through Pocahontas on all 4 channels. Just like, okay, if I can get better, then I can do this today. So just kind of mind fucked myself into it. So
There you
it's all
go.
manifestation, kids. That's all it is. And after finding out about the scheduling today, I'm really glad I'm better today, because tomorrow I'm going to be busier than I thought I was.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I will be able to be there for that with everything going on over here, but if I can, I will.
I
You
know
know
that
me.
you
If
will
I
do what
can, I
you
will.
can, and if you can't, you can't. It's one of those, it's I'm more pissed about this last weekend than anything else, because I did get so sick that I didn't get to see anybody. And I lost having Dylan for the weekend, which really chaps my ass, especially the way conversations went down afterwards. But
It's all good. You've got your plans this weekend, and if everything goes like it's supposed to go, then maybe the weekend after we'll be able to see you.
that would be ideal, because after that it gets hairy when it comes to starting school, because we've got his not orientation, they don't call it that anymore. We're too hip
Yeah,
to use the O word anymore now, but
right.
summer campus check-in is what we're doing now. So whatever. But yeah, he's starting high school, which is just making my brain explode even more than it did on the COVID.
Folks, you've
Crazy.
got about 10 minutes left. You know, Jeff likes to wrap up the broadcasts about the quarter hour, start doing the shills and plugs. So if you've
Yes.
got any other questions that you want to ask us, wrestling related, non wrestling related, get it in while you can because you got about 10 minutes left.
Yep. I figured out that one of the drawbacks about being over here is the Fire Stick is not reliable when it comes to live streaming, as far
Hmm.
as like the pirate site or whatever. So watching Raw at East Coast time is not going to be a thing. So, but I know a lot of you guys actually like to torture yourselves for those 3 hours. So I figure we'll still get off the air at 8 o'clock Eastern just to be nice.
You know, and the times when I've been able to be available, I've actually been sitting down and trying to watch Raw on Mondays, the whole 3 hours as it airs.
It's tough.
There've been, I'm not gonna lie, there've been weeks when I've been like, okay, is it done yet?
Right.
But for the most part,
Yep.
considering how long I've been out of action, I've been pretty entertained overall. So,
There
you
we
know,
go. Let's see. Michael said, let's see here. There we go. We'll do that one first. Michael says, what's our favorite moment or match of Rey Mysterio's 20-year career. Anything prior to the 2006 Royal Rumble?
See, and
I'm kidding.
I know you're going to hate me for it, but I'm going to say that WrestleMania moment. I mean,
it was cool for him, no doubt.
it's another one of those, much like WrestleMania 20 2 years prior, where Ray was always the little guy. He was always told he was never going to be the guy. And
Right.
yeah, it took Eddie's passing for him to be the guy, for him
Right.
to get that push that we all feel Chavito should have gotten instead. But he finally was able to overcome the naysayers and not just win the title, he beat Randy Orton and Kurt Angle. You
Yeah,
know,
and
much like Benoit's defeat of Hunter and Shawn.
yep.
Like, arguably two of the best on the brand at that moment. And
Both
he
times.
took them out to become the champion.
And when you figure that Benoit followed up by beating the other one in the fall the next month, and that Ray ended up being Kurt one-on-one straight up after Randy's suspension, you know, I don't disagree with making Ray the world champion. It was a feel-good story. It was a cool moment for Rey Mysterio fans. Looking back on it, I can be slightly more objective about it. But had Eddie not passed, it would have been him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania for the championship. And that's pretty much been a given at this point. I will say this, though. Eddie dying or not, I don't think we would have ever seen Chavo Guerrero in a main event spot. And I don't feel he should have got that push either, for the record. I think it just should have been just washed out. Like, okay, reset the thing completely and just do somebody else.
Maybe.
You know,
Maybe.
Yeah, for me, that's more about not that it's Ray, the fact that it just was not going to be Eddie, than it should have been anybody.
I can kind of concede that. I mean, I was always of the mindset where, granted, Rey Mysterio Jr. was always leaps and bounds more over than Chavo Guerrero.
Yes.
But I was always of the mindset that at the very least, Chavo should have gotten the belt at Mania, held it to Backlash, dropped it to whoever. Temporary, transitional, 1 month reign, but just something for him to be able to say, I did this for you, Uncle Eddie.
I will partially
Ray obviously was going to be able to have a more long-term push, which is what I think they ultimately decided to go for.
Right.
Plus the fact Chavo was still coming off of Kerwin White.
Well, yeah, that was a bitch of a hill to climb back up.
It was going to take a minute, but after Mysterio winning it, Chavo could have taken the strap from Mysterio.
Yeah.
And then again, lost it back on SmackDown, lost it back at the following pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But after having that little run alongside Ray, where they were all happy for him, when Chavo hit that heel turn like he did, there's no reason that he shouldn't have dethroned Ray for the belt.
Makes sense. Whether it's at the point that Chavito was awesome and doing great things, or whether he was coming off a bad gimmick, I just never pictured him as the guy, even in tribute to Eddie. I would never have bought that. It's like, yeah, you want the feel good, but just again, that's more of my Booker creative brain than my sentimental brain, I guess. For me, I honestly love the match with Eddie at Halloween Havoc. That's probably the greatest match either of them ever had. And I know that's a long list for both of them, but in a time where match quality in that division especially was off the chain, those guys set a new standard. I mean, those guys were Lion King. Everybody else was step below, for real. But God, he had so many great moments, even after the Eddie thing, and after he became the world champion. He still had a lot of really cool moments. A lot of people forget that he was the WWE champion after the whole CM Punk thing. People forget that he was technically the WWE champion for a night.
That's because Cena came in and challenged him and took the belt right off of him.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying people forget that, and that sucks.
I'm just saying that's why people forget it, because like he held the title for an hour or two,
something like that. Yeah, because he and Miz started the show, and the show went off the air with Punk and Cena holding their dueling titles up. So, and trust and believe, from sitting on the couch next to me for that whole summer, it's one of those. I don't think it should have been done that way in the first place.
At the end of the day, Rey Mysterio is recognized in the record books as WWE champion, and he held the title less time than Ted DiBiase did. And DiBiase actually defended the WWF title as champion. Come on, WWE.
I'm glad you brought that up, but we'll go ahead and let G get his question answered, because I will go off on that tangent in March. Spoiler alert. Can you do a quick ranking on Clerks rated? I don't even do anything quickly Quirks related in this group.
I am gonna try. I'm gonna try my damnedest. Okay, G, let me know if I'm missing anything. But you're basically talking Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, Clerks 2, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Right? Those 7 films.
That sounds right to me.
Because those are all essentially the Viewisk universe, with Jay and Bob playing their role, tying everything together. Okay, yes, those are what he's talking about. Okay.
Correct.
Number 1, Dogma.
Oh yeah, Dogma's so good.
That is the movie that made me appreciate Matt Damon.
That's the first of the Viewisk.
I slept on Matt Damon and was always giving him crap, much like I did for Leo, primarily because of the movies like Good Will Hunting and shit, which I still haven't seen, by the way. But I would give Matt Damon so much crap that movie and his performance as Loki, which is what makes his cameos in Ragnarok and Love and Thunder as Loki so much funnier. But yeah, yes. So number 1 is Dogma. Number 2 is Chasing Amy.
Oh.
I adore that film on levels. You guys have heard me talk about it when we did our top 10 chick flicks, top 10 Disney, live action films, because it was Miramax, which is a subsidiary. I had it on my list for there.
Yes.
So, number 2, Chasing Amy. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Clerks 2.
Ooh, okay.
I have always enjoyed Clerks 2 over the original Clerks. No slight against the original, but I thought the addition of Elias really helped balance things between Dante and Randall. And that scene where the two of them are in jail, I have always looked at that scene and thought of Mikey and Toad going back and forth at each other. You have no frame of reference with Toad. Cece, if she's still watching, I know that she will totally co-sign with me on that, but it is Mikey and Toad going back and forth.
Oh my God.
4th, I'm going to go with Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Damn right.
That's right. There is only one return, and it's not of the king, it's of the Jedi. 4th, I'm going to go to Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. I always thought that movie was hilarious, and it was the first one that I saw in like real time.
Right.
Not kind of having to get caught back up on. Yeah. I still had like no idea of all the characters that were being intertwined because I hadn't seen everything, but it was one of the first, if not the first, that I saw as it was coming out. Mainly because, of course, you've got Affleck in it, you've got, all their primary players, but you had Jason Biggs, you had Shannon Elizabeth, you had Sean William Scott, all coming off of American Pie, having appearances in this. And I was huge into the Pie movies at the time because those, I want to say 1 and 2 had already come out and were such big business.
Yeah.
So that's number 4. Number 5, I'm going to go with the original Clerks. Number 6, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And then lastly is Mallrats.
I'll
And
agree
that's
with that.
not a slight. That's
No.
not a slight against Mallrats. Mallrats is freaking hilarious.
Yes.
But even Kevin has basically called it like his bottom of the barrel because Universal tried to put their hands in it way too much and control the creative and not just let Kevin be Kevin. It's the
Yep.
only one that wasn't done by Miramax.
Yep.
And you can kind of feel it.
Definitely.
You can feel that something's a little bit off. They wanted to recast Jason Mewes as Jay and make it Seth Green. It's like, no. Could you imagine Scott Evil going Snoochie Boochies?
No. No. Well, now I hear it, and yeah, it'd be funny, but it wouldn't be the same.
Jason Lee, that was the movie that first introduced me to him
Yep.
as Brody. The whole scene with him and Stan Lee is just such a great scene. And that was like, okay, Stan was making cameos and stuff, but I want to say that was his first cameo in something that wasn't a Stan Lee creation. It wasn't a Marvel product. It was
Right.
his first time doing something outside of appearing on the Incredible Hulk or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. That's how important Kevin was to Stan.
Flip it.
So.
Because I want to say that's where they became friends. That's how important Stan was to Kevin, was trying to get him into that movie. And then their
Well, okay.
friendship and bond formed as a result of all of that.
Got it. Okay. Well, I was just trying to say Kevin was important to Stan while Stan was still alive. It didn't phrase properly. It was much better here than it was here, and I apologize for that.
So, G,
Yeah,
do you agree with me? Once again, Dogma, Chasing Amy, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, Clerks, the reboot, and Mallrats. Thank
good list,
you.
he said. There you go. There you go. I, having seen them all now because of you, but having Dogma be the first one I saw, I'm glad you did, because you're absolutely right. That's the best one of them. So good. So, like, watch it the first time. I remember where I was sitting in the apartment during the viewing. That's how ingrained in my brain it is. I was on the right side of the couch, and I was also sitting on that, or was that little stool we had next to the couch there for a while, going back and forth between the two spots, trying to get stuff done for Dylan. But yeah, just ingrained in my brain. And it was so funny all the way through. And reading the back of the DVD and seeing, holy shit, he's in here. And then look, oh my God, just stuff like that. So good.
Dogma changed my view on organized religion. And we'll wrap up with this before we get to the plugs, because, and I know a lot of people may find that like sacrilege or whatever, because, I was raised in Christian household. I was baptized Presbyterian.
Yep.
But Dogma changed my views on organized religion, and specifically the parts where Chris Rock is talking about it's hard to change a belief system. It's a lot easier to change an idea.
Boom.
People basing their faiths on this belief structure is what has really fragmented all of the religions. It's a lot
Yep,
easier to base a belief on an idea of something.
I agree.
And then, you just throw Alan Rickman in as the Metatron, and Alan Rickman's like William Regal. I can just watch that man do just about anything and I'm good.
Was it you that told me you haven't seen Galaxy Quest?
No, I've seen it.
Who the hell was it? Maybe my dad, which pissed me off. Like, damn it, Dad! It's Tim Allen. Come on, man, you gotta see it.
It's
Yeah,
Tim
yeah,
Allen in a Star Trek parody.
right. It's like let's just strap Jeff into the freaking dopamine IV and call him a knight. Like, seriously, right? Star Trek with more power, yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Just need Tim's character to work on the starship using Binford tools.
Right. I still say we need to find a way to have Mike Baxter and Tim Taylor do a special with Santa Claus and Buzz Lightyear. We need to make that happen. All right.
While watching Galaxy Quest on television.
That needs to be wow. Porky Pig all of a sudden. Son of a baby. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you? I watched it the whole way through. His jaw dropped when Porky said son of a bitch. I was like, I told you, Bubba. You didn't believe it was going to happen.
Yep.
Oh, so good. That movie. Galaxy Quest, again, is one of those forgotten, I'll never call it a classic movie, right? But it's one of those forgotten, damn it should have been a classic movie.
It's a gem. It's a hidden gem.
Hidden gem's a good word. I like that. We'll go with that. All right. Just trying to find all the things I don't have up here yet for the damn. I don't want that.
Okay. I'm going to send you an image. I'm going to send you an image real quick to the same account that sent me the StreamYard link because I would like for you to throw this in there.
I can do that. Just got to make sure I'm logged in there. Well, hell, I guess we'll do that. And then...
What up, Dwayne? You're here a little bit late. We're getting ready to do the shows. Okay. But make sure that once this goes off the air that you start doing watch the replay, watch it on demand because this has been a good show.
It has been a good show. Yeah, I saw this in the queue on your channel. I went, well, that would have been good to know, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and talk on this first.
Unless you're not into non-wrestling talk, then you can skip this one because there was only a brief bit of wrestling talk in this one.
Very brief. Yes, but tomorrow, apparently.
Yes. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 Eastern, a lost episode, Greatest Death Scenes in Movie and TV History, will be airing on the Casa channel. Jeff tried to get this episode edited and uploaded for viewing. You can take it down real quick. He tried to get this edited and up for viewing back when it aired, and he was just met with hurdle after hurdle after hurdle because his channel is targeted for whatever reason. Now, I've had to submit disputes. I've had a couple get cleared. I've had a couple get rejected. But at the end of the day, it's not blocking me from airing this. I just can't monetize it in the future and make money on it, which we were never going to do anyways.
No.
Whenever we do these shows where we play music or we show clips, it's never about monetizing and making money.
No. It's about the love, man.
It's just about the love. Yeah, it's about giving the props to these things and spreading our opinions about it. That's what I did. I put commentary in there for each description. It's like each view is a commentary. We show the clip and then we talk about it. We give our thoughts about it. Why is this one of the greatest, go ahead and throw it back up, death scenes in TV and movie history?
There were some damn good moments in that, man.
So I got it edited. Took me a long time yesterday to re-edit it.
I believe it.
The editing wasn't so bad, but the saving of it took a long time because it's a big file.
Oh, yeah.
The upload, it's over 2 hours.
I believe it.
So editing it, uploading it, saving it, it took a lot of my day yesterday. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I was able to watch Loki and finally get that in while this was rendering and
Right.
saving and uploading. Because goddamn, but it is so good that it's finally going to get to air. Going to finally get people's reactions to it. Only 3 people have seen this so far.
Yeah.
Myself and Jeff, who obviously gave our thoughts about it and filmed,
Yes.
and my girlfriend Cece,
Poor
who was
CC.
literally in the green room of both studios as we did these, watching it as we did this and filmed it.
Scarred that woman for life. I feel
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm just going to say this, words already been used, but the hashtag, the phrase of the day on tomorrow's episode is fuck you, Meacham.
Yes. And you will
We need
know
to get
why
a
it was
t-shirt.
born.
We need to get a t-shirt with that going on pro wrestling teams.
I'll
We
make
need
it
cut
work
the
with the
shit, Meacham. Our little tribute to Jade
Jade Cargill. Yes.
Cargill. Cut the shit, Meacham, and hashtag fuck you, Meacham. We need to get those going. That
Well,
way, the Jeff Meacham haters have something they can wear too,
yeah.
because they're still supporting you at the end of the day.
I'm not sure if the folks in Chicago will let me actually print that, but I can say muck you feature and see if that works. Whatever works. That mucker
So
fucking
there's
did.
that tomorrow. Like I said, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 Eastern. That'll finally be airing on the Casa D-18 Studios channel.
It's good shit. I love it.
If you would like to have it on your channel too, Jeff, let me know. I'll download it, put it in the shared folder. You can upload it to your channel and
Nah,
have it
no,
go live at the same time as well.
no. Please make sure we get the views over there, dude. I don't even. I'm not even tripping about it. I'm just glad it's gonna get to be seen in its entirety.
Yes.
Like seriously, I mean, it just the agony that damn episode caused me for really nothing at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
like you said, we're gonna make money off it, but it didn't do anything for me.
No. So there's that. Then on Wednesday.
Okay, we'll do that last Wednesday.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was going to do my show for Wednesday.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay. So there's that. Okay. So on Wednesday on the Casa D-18 Studios channel will be my presentation, my coverage of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Friday will be my look at Hercules. And then for new release Saturday, it is Elvis. Baz Luhrmann's views and cinematography and his storytelling of the story of one Elvis Aaron Presley, and more specifically, how the hands of Colonel Tom Parker guided and affected his career.
Colonel Tom Parker played by
Mr. Tom Hanks.
because Tom Hanks play everything now that we're old enough to understand that. So that's okay.
But let me just say this Tom Hanks is a despicable prick in this movie. So if you want to keep the image of Tom Hanks, of him being that ever loving boy next door, don't go see this movie.
And stay off of
If
TMZ last
you
week.
if you thought that Jimmy Dugan was a dick, this is Jimmy Dugan times 100.
This is irredeemable throughout the pages of history, Jimmy Dugan. All right. Of course,
No,
Wednesday.
Dwayne. No,
Yes.
Dwayne. It does not show where Forrest Gump taught him how to dance. That would have been a hell of a meta moment, but no.
If they'd have hired Kurt Russell for that I would have shit my pants then. I really would have. That would have been tremendous. If you know, you know. If you don't, get on Netflix. I'm pretty sure both those movies are on Netflix now. League of Their Own and Forrest Gump, along with Titanic, which you still haven't seen. So
So we've
it's
got
on there
all
too.
that for me this week, plus the War Zone on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Lots of content coming to the Casa D-18 Studios channel.
Looking forward to it. Like I said, definitely looking forward to seeing the death scene show in its entirety. I know we're going into Raw, but whatever. I'm a minute in. Leave me alone. Two things I want to plug real quick for my own self. Of course, Sunday, now that I've been let out of the box, I'm going to Disneyland, damn it, with my kid and my dad. And I realized two things this week, Jay. Number one, I have to film the opening of this still because I forgot. And number two, all my commercials are gone.
Of course they are.
no idea where they went. So I am going to cut our trailers into the beginning, like I said I would. And then I'm just going to have to dig through the YouTube history and find them.
There you go.
But then tomorrow, not Saturday, tomorrow in its usual time slot, but not its usual presentation, we will be celebrating 15 years of the flagship, the mothership, if you will, Talk Wrestling. It will be on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa D-18 Studios like we are today, as well as the Greg Cherry brand and its original home over at NoDQ.com. So please check it out. We'll be on after NXT instead of at 8 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, because Saturday, to be honest with you, there's two things against this. Number one, Aaron's going to be in Jersey Saturday, I think for purposes with his dad's stuff, so he'll be unavailable. And then Dylan's coming home Friday, so I'm going to be available if he needs me. And I figure, you know what? Aaron's available tomorrow. I'm available tomorrow. We're doing the show anyway, so we might as well just make it the anniversary show. And we'll have whoever's available, whoever's not, we'll catch them next time or in 5 years for the 20th. But yeah, this is the official shirt, all the logos. It turned out actually better than I thought it would. I'm not going to lie. It's still a little busy, but turned out pretty good. So check it out at ProWrestlingTees.com, as well as all the other crazy shit we've got on there. I think all the shirts are up here still. Yeah, they are. There we go. All of them, including the one based on the View-Askew universe from Noah Foster. So there you go. It's going to be good stuff. And you did mention the War Zone, so I didn't want to. I realized I had that graphic in there, so there's that for Sunday. That's really it, I guess. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys watching for the hour. Plus, glad to be off quarantine. Just got to get the place cleaned up now because it's still very much a sanitation nightmare in here. But thank you, sir. Looking forward to this tomorrow. I'm really glad that you were able to pile it together and actually get it uploaded, because that was one of probably the most frustrating non-results in the 3 years I've been doing this on doing my own thing. It's just so damn irritating that didn't get up. I was pissed. So
I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't get caught to where it couldn't air, period. I knew I wasn't going to be able to monetize it, but like I said, it was never about monetization on that episode for us. Nope. We just wanted to discuss the topic.
Especially the raw feels that neither of us were prepared for.
Yeah. And I've been sitting on this for a minute, just like waiting and waiting and waiting, and was like, you know what? I've got the time today. I'm way ahead on my own stuff. Like I said, I've been in this room since 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, cranking out all kinds of content to put up for my channel. So I was like, okay, I'm ahead of the game. Let's do this and see what happens.
Exactly.
And the fact that it is actually going to be allowed to air tomorrow, I'm stoked for it. And I hope that you guys tune in again, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Watch it. Leave your comments along with it. If you see it on demand, put your comments below afterwards. Hell, even if you watch the premiere, put your comments below afterwards, because if I'm not able to watch the premiere because I'm working, I won't be able to see your comments probably.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to communicate with you about it. I know Jeff is going to want to be able to communicate with you guys about this one. So please tune in, watch it.
Busy day tomorrow. We've got that and Talk Wrestling Anniversary in the same day. So it's gonna be a hell of a day around here, to say the very least. But thank you all again, and thank you, Jay, for putting that together. And thank you. If I don't mention it tomorrow in the throes of me being, giddy over my own damn self, thank you for the friendship and being along with me these last 15 years of this crazy ass show. Talk Wrestling. It's still just boggles my mind that I'm going to be 15 for that and 20 for overall with Aaron in October. Just makes my brain explode when I think about that.
All I ask tomorrow is that you give a little shout out, a little plug to After the Bell, which you did over on this channel during
Definitely.
your brief hiatus from the No DQ galaxy of stars.
After the Bell would not have, if After the Bell had not gotten through and then later stolen her out from underneath me by Corey Graves and WWE, I don't know if I would have gone back to doing talk wrestling. So I really appreciated that platform, and I still do to this day. I appreciate being able to, have, the StreamYard to let your channel get out there to everybody, and to be able to do the things. So it's awesome. I can't emphasize enough how grateful I am to be able to pay it forward, that everybody has helped me in the last, especially for talk wrestling in the last 15 years. So I appreciate it. And I will definitely get the reminder. Because God, After the Bell and everything that spawned out of that Dad's on Wrestling and the Renegade Wrestling, premieres in January of that year, just here we sit 12 years,
Yeah,
almost 12 years later. So it's crazy.
definitely.
All right, kids, that's it. Go watch Raw if you dare, or wait till Hulu, because Hulu's your friend. It's our friend. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the greatest death scenes in movie and TV history, as well as the anniversary of Talk Wrestling. It's a big day tomorrow. Sleep well, hug your kids, kiss your wives, or the other way. And we'll see you tomorrow right here on the Casa D-18 Studios.